After her son got sick, her husband divorced her and his sick child to marry his mistress, unaware she had just inherited $400 million. He didn't just leave a marriage. He abandoned a mother and her sick child and walked into a wedding with his mistress. On the same night, their 7-year-old, Liam, was rushed between tests and IV drips. Ethan came home with papers, divorce papers, and a gaze that looked past her grief. "Sign it, Sarah. I need peace," he said, voice cold, eyes on his phone. Instead of holding her through the storm, he handed her to humiliation. Instead of loyalty, he chose Ava, the woman who smiled, while a child's monitor beeped in the dark. He thought she would remain broken, silenced by bills, buried beneath whispers of pity. But what he never knew was that the woman he cast aside carried a quiet power, a legacy her grandmother built in secret. A fortune already hers, $400 million. A gift not for revenge, but for rebuilding. A key that would one day unlock the hospital doors he'd return to, desperate and unprepared. Sometimes the ones you discard become the ones you cannot escape. Sometimes the woman you call burden becomes the name on every building you need. This is not just another tale of betrayal. It is the cry of a mother abandoned, the rise of a heart reforged, and the reminder that dignity shines brightest after the darkest nights. She will not shout. She will not beg. She will build, and the world will watch. Dear viewers, thank you for being here. If you watch without subscribing, it is like letting her voice fade back into silence. Click that button to stand with every woman betrayed, every child fighting to heal, and every survivor who chose to rise. Please, subscribe now, and in the comments, share where you're watching from. Let Sarah know she is not alone. Morning sunlight floods a modern kitchen, all glass, marble, and the illusion of harmony. The aroma of coffee and toast fills the air, mingling with the faint hum of the refrigerator. Sarah Miller, 35, sits at the head of the breakfast table. She's the picture of composure, soft-spoken, graceful, the kind of woman who smiles even when she's exhausted. Her chestnut hair is loosely tied back, and faint shadows under her eyes betray sleepless nights. She is a registered nurse, a wife, and most importantly, a mother, a woman who has carried both dreams and disappointments quietly for 7 years of marriage. Across the table, Ethan Miller, 38, folds the morning newspaper like a man performing a ritual. He is handsome in that curated, professional way, cufflinks gleaming, tie perfectly knotted. A man who learned early that charm opens doors faster than honesty. Once a struggling entrepreneur, now the CEO of a mid-sized medical supply company, a company Sarah helped fund in its earliest days by selling her mother's jewelry. Between them sits Liam, their 7-year-old son. His laughter fills the silence like sunlight in a cold room. His hair is messy, his cheeks full of life. To Sarah, he's everything good that remains in her world, her reason to breathe. "Mommy, can we go to the park after school today?" Liam asks, swinging his legs under the table. Sarah smiles gently, buttering his toast. "If the weather's kind, sweetheart, maybe we'll feed the ducks again." Ethan glances at his watch, impatient. "He has school, Sarah. And I've got a meeting. We'll see." His tone slices through the warmth. The moment hangs awkward, delicate. Sarah sets the butter knife down, her eyes flicking briefly to Ethan's collar. A faint smear of red lipstick stains the edge of his crisp white shirt. For a split second, her hand stills. The world narrows to that mark, bright, undeniable. Then she looks away, swallowing the ache that rises in her chest. "Big meeting today?" she asks softly, her voice steady, betraying nothing. Ethan doesn't meet her eyes. "Investors' brunch. You know how it is." Sarah nods, offering a polite smile. Inside, her thoughts spiral. Investors at 7:45 a.m. The same investors he claimed to meet last week? She wants to ask, but the words dissolve before they form. Years of keeping peace have taught her silence often hurts less than truth. "Daddy, will you come to my school play next week?" Liam chirps, his voice bright. Ethan sips his coffee, already standing. "We'll see, champ, I'll try." Liam's smile falters. Sarah notices. Every small disappointment in her son feels like a wound to her own heart. "Ethan," she says quietly, almost to herself, "you work too hard." He pauses at the doorway, tightening his tie. "It's all for the future," he replies. That future will crumble soon, though neither of them knows how soon. He grabs his briefcase, leaving his coffee untouched, a still life of avoidance on the table. The coffee cup steams beside the untouched toast. The lipstick stain burns under the morning light. Sarah watches as his reflection disappears through the glass door. Transparent, fleeting, untouchable. Liam runs after him, hugging his legs. "Bye, Daddy." Ethan bends down briefly, his smile more for performance than affection. "Bye, champ." He pats Liam's head and leaves. The house falls into silence, that heavy, hollow kind that hums louder than noise. Sarah sinks into her chair, exhaling slowly. Her eyes drift toward the sunlight. It feels harsh now, accusing. A memory flickers, their wedding day, Ethan's hand in hers, promising forever beneath a rain of white petals. No matter what, he had said then. She had believed him. She had sold her jewelry, postponed her career, worked night shifts to help him build his company. 7 years of sacrifice, all for a man who now rushes out without looking back. Liam tugs at her sleeve. "Mommy, are you sad?" She forces a smile, brushing his hair back. "Of course not, sweetheart. Eat your breakfast." But her eyes glisten. The phone on the counter buzzes. Ethan's phone. He must have left it behind. For a moment she hesitates. She shouldn't look. She knows she shouldn't. But curiosity, pain, and instinct win. The screen lights up. A message flashes. "Can't wait for tonight, Ava." Her breath catches. The world slows. She stares at the name. Ava. Who is Ava? Her fingers tremble, but she doesn't open it. She just places the phone back where it was, exactly how he left it, a small, controlled act of quiet devastation. Liam hums to himself, dipping his toast in jam, blissfully unaware that the morning sunlight has just revealed the first crack in their perfect family portrait. Sarah wipes her eyes quickly before turning back to him. "Finish up, honey," she whispers, her voice breaking just slightly. The camera pans out, a mother forcing grace, a son filled with innocence, a husband vanishing into deceit, the perfect home, the perfect lie. The sterile glow of the pediatric emergency room hums with quiet panic, the sharp scent of antiseptic in the air, the faint beep of monitors like distant metronomes marking dread. Nurses move swiftly, their white shoes whispering across polished floors. Sarah bursts through the sliding doors, clutching Liam's small backpack to her chest as if it could still protect him. Her hair is unkempt, her eyes wild with disbelief. Her world, which only hours ago revolved around morning routines and homework reminders, now trembles on the edge of something unthinkable. "Where's my son?" Her voice cracks, raw and trembling. A nurse points her down the corridor. "Room 3. The doctors are with him now." Sarah runs, her footsteps echoing against the sterile walls. Inside, she finds Liam, her 7-year-old boy, lying pale on the hospital bed, his tiny chest rising unevenly under the weight of tubes and monitors. The doctor looks up. "Mrs. Miller, your son's condition is serious. He's showing symptoms of severe autoimmune aplastic anemia. His bone marrow isn't producing enough blood cells. We need to begin treatment immediately." The words crash over her like a wave she can't surface from. Autoimmune. Rare. Serious. She hears them but doesn't absorb them. Her gaze fixed on Liam's frail face, the IV line in his arm, the faint tremor of his fingers. "Will he be okay?" she whispers. The doctor hesitates, that silence that says more than words ever could. "We'll do everything we can." Sarah's knees almost give way. She grips the railing of the bed, forcing herself upright. Her lips tremble, but she doesn't cry. She can't, not now. Liam needs strength, not tears. She strokes his forehead gently, whispering, "Mommy's here. Everything will be okay, I promise." It's a mother's vow, one born not of certainty, but of desperate faith. Her mind flickers to another hospital room, smaller, dimmer, years ago. She was 8, watching her own mother fade under the same flickering fluorescent lights. She remembers gripping her grandmother's hand, whispering, "I'll become a nurse. I'll never let anyone I love suffer like this." That vow became her life's purpose, the reason she worked night shifts, the reason she pushed through exhaustion. And now fate circles back with cruel irony, her own child fighting the same invisible enemy. A door opens behind her. Ethan walks in, phone in hand, suit still crisp. He doesn't rush to the bed. He doesn't hold her. He simply asks, "What did the doctor say?" Sarah turns, disbelief flashing in her eyes. "They said it's serious. He needs treatment immediately. Ethan sighs, rubbing his forehead. How much? She stares at him. What? The treatment. The cost. Her heart breaks again this time, not from fear, but from the emptiness in his tone. Does it matter, Ethan? It's our son. He shakes his head. Sarah, we're drowning in bills already. Maybe we should consider selling the house. It's not practical to. She cuts him off. Not practical? He's a child, Ethan. Our child. He exhales sharply, slipping his phone back into his pocket. I'm trying to fix this, but not like you think. I've got meetings, investors. I'm building something for us. She looks at him, really looks at him and sees it. The detachment, the calculation. The man who once fought for dreams now fights only for his ego. Sarah's strength begins to harden. Her fear crystallizes into quiet resolve. Ethan's humanity, meanwhile, begins to fade, replaced by excuses dressed as ambition. The hospital corridor is dim. The rhythmic hum of machines echoes through the silence. Sarah sits alone by Liam's bedside, his small hand in hers. Ethan's chair beside her is empty again. He left hours ago, said he had work. Her phone buzzes with a message from him. Won't be home tonight. Long meeting. Don't wait up. She stares at the screen, eyes cold. Work. The soft flicker of monitors casts blue light over her tired face. Piles of unpaid bills sit on the bedside table. Her reflection in the window, a woman learning what loneliness truly feels like. A nurse walks in quietly mid-20 seconds. Kind eyes, clipboard in hand. Mrs. Miller, your husband was here earlier. Sarah looks up sharply. Earlier? When? The nurse hesitates, lowering her voice. In the cafe, with another woman. I didn't mean to intrude, but Sarah's breath leaves her body. She feels everything and nothing all at once. She forces a smile, brittle, trembling. Thank you, she whispers, though the words taste like iron. When the nurse leaves, Sarah turns back to Liam, stroking his hair. So this is what he calls work, she murmurs, voice hollow but steady. Her eyes lift to the clock ticking above the doorway, calm, relentless. That same patience will soon become her greatest weapon. And though she doesn't know it yet, tonight is the moment Sarah Miller stops breaking and starts building the strength that will destroy his empire. Late night. The Miller home lies under a hush of suburban silence, rain tapping softly against the window panes. Inside, the living room glows dimly from a single lamp, its light spilling over unpaid bills scattered across the coffee table. The air feels cold, heavy like the moment before glass shatters. Sarah stands alone by the window, still in her hospital scrubs. Her hair clings to her temples, damp from the rain she walked through after her shift. On the table beside her lies Ethan's phone unlocked, left carelessly on the counter when he stepped into the shower. A notification still glows on the screen. Photo tag, Ethan and Ava. Perfect night. Her heart clenches. She doesn't want to tap it, but she does. Images fill the screen. Ethan smiling at a rooftop restaurant, champagne glasses clinking beside Ava Reynolds. Ava, mid-30 seconds, poised and polished, is one of Ethan's senior marketing consultants, now revealed as the woman who's been threading herself into every crevice of Sarah's unraveling marriage. Ava's the kind who speaks softly but always makes sure everyone listens, the type who thrives in the shadows of someone else's spotlight. The captions read, "To new beginnings." Sarah's chest tightens, new beginnings, while their son fights for his life. The shower stops. Footsteps echo down the hallway. Ethan appears, towel around his neck, phone still wet from his hands. He freezes when he sees her holding it. "What are you doing with my phone?" Ethan asks, "Looking for the man I married. I can't seem to find him in these photos." He exhales through his nose, impatient rather than ashamed. "You shouldn't have looked." Her voice trembles. "You shouldn't have given me a propina. Reason to." She sets the phone down beside the stack of medical invoices. For a long moment, neither speaks. The clock ticks. Rain whispers. The quiet between them grows unbearable. "I can't do this anymore, Sarah. You can leave me, Ethan, but how can you leave your son? I can't live like this anymore. I've already filed." Her breath catches. The words feel unreal, yet inevitable. "Filed? For divorce?" He nods once, no apology in his eyes. "I can't pay these bills, Sarah. I'm drowning. And I have someone who cares for me. Someone who doesn't make me feel like a failure. Tears rise, but Sarah forces herself to stand tall. You mean Ava, she says quietly. The woman who smiles while our child lies in a hospital bed. Ethan's jaw tightens. Don't turn this into drama. I've given everything I can. I need a life that isn't constant fear and debt. Her voice hardens, the tremor replaced by calm fury. You don't need a life without fear, Ethan. You need one without responsibility. He grabs the stack of papers from his briefcase and tosses them onto the table. Sign them. It's better for both of us. She stares down at the divorce papers, the ink, the signatures, the cold precision of betrayal printed in legal font. Beside them, Liam's hospital bracelet glints under the lamplight. Two symbols side by side, the end of a marriage and the fragile life of a child. One discarded, one still fighting. Sarah picks up a pen, her fingers trembling, tears finally breaking free. Our son's fighting to breathe, and you're out with her? I can't live like this anymore, Sarah. I'm filing for divorce. She signs not out of acceptance, but exhaustion. The pen scrapes the page like a quiet scream. For years, Ethan's parents whispered that Sarah was beneath their son. A nurse, a woman who smells of antiseptic and struggle. They'd wanted someone better bred, like Ava, daughter of an investor. Ethan had once defended her. Now he echoes them in every cold glance. Their financial collapse, the failed product launch, the mortgage, all of it had chipped away at his pride until there was nothing left but resentment. As she lays the pen down, Sarah whispers not to him, but to the universe. You'll regret the day you turned your back on loyalty. Her voice carries no threat, only truth, soft, inevitable, prophetic. Ethan picks up the papers, avoiding her gaze. You'll be fine. You always are. He walks toward the door. Sarah watches him go, each step another fracture in the fragile world she built. Through the rain-blurred window, headlights flash. A black sedan idles in the driveway. Ava sits in the passenger seat, red lips curving into a satisfied smile as Ethan climbs in beside her. The car disappears down the wet street, taillights bleeding crimson across the pavement. Inside the house, Sarah stands still, the silence now. Absolute. She looks at Liam's bracelet again, picks it up and presses it to her heart. Then she whispers, voice raw but unbroken, this isn't the end, it's the lesson. The injustice pierced deep, the man's betrayal complete, the woman's awakening beginning. What he thinks is freedom is the first step toward his downfall. A home that once symbolized family now stands like an empty shell, rain washing against the windows, cleansing, foreshadowing rebirth. A luxury beachside resort, sunlit and decadent, its coastline draped in white silk tents that flutter like ghosts in the salt wind. Rows of golden chairs line the aisle, seashells scattered for aesthetic perfection. A string quartet plays a polished tune no one really listens to. It's a picture-perfect wedding, Ethan's new beginning, at least in his mind. The sound of waves masks the hollow beating in his chest. He stands at the altar in a tailored cream suit, a smile carved into place for the cameras, for Severin, the guests, for the illusion of happiness. Beside him, Ava Reynolds glows, the woman who once whispered comfort in the shadows now stands under the sun, wearing white silk that glitters like wealth. She radiates victory. The press calls her the woman who saved the CEO's heart. The truth that she helped destroy a family hides beneath her veil like a secret no one dares name. The officiant raises his voice over the crashing waves. Do you, Ethan Miller, take Ava Reynolds to be your lawfully wedded wife, for better or worse? As the words "for better or worse" echo, the camera pans to a nearby monitor mounted in the open-air bar, a live news ticker crawling quietly beneath muted wedding footage. Local mother and son continue hospital fight for rare immune illness. The line flashes once, then fades. No one notices. But it's there, Sarah's world reduced to a headline playing beneath the celebration of her replacement. Ethan forces a smile as he slips a diamond ring onto Ava's hand. Applause rises, shallow and rehearsed. Flashbulbs explode. His parents beam from the front row. Ethan's mother, Margaret, elegant and cold. His father, Harold, stone-faced and proud. They had always wanted this match. Ava, after all, is the daughter of Victor Reynolds, a powerful investor whose wealth had once saved Ethan's struggling company. To them, this marriage is strategy, not love. As Ethan kisses Ava, champagne flows. Guests laugh. A drone camera captures the perfect aerial shot, two smiling figures framed by the endless ocean. But beneath that image of perfection lies a world unseen miles away, in a small, sterile hospital room. Sarah sits beside Liam's bed, her fingers tracing the edge of his blanket. The same sunlight that blesses the beach filters weakly through hospital blinds. On the television mounted on the wall, a live broadcast plays without sound. Ethan and Ava's wedding, all smiles and gold. Her eyes stay fixed on the screen, but her face remains still. No tears, no anger, just quiet realization. He didn't just leave us, he replaced us. She looks at Liam, his tiny hand limp in hers, an IV line trailing to the monitor that keeps time with his fragile heartbeat. Parallel visuals flicker, Ava's white gown gleaming under the sun, Liam's white hospital sheet shifting under pale light, champagne bubbles rising in crystal flutes, IV fluid dripping steadily through a plastic line. Sarah exhales slowly. Her eyes drift toward the folder beside her test results, approval forms, hope disguised as paperwork. She remembers Ethan's parents' words from years ago. He needs a partner who understands ambition, not someone tied to sickbeds. She remembers how she stayed silent then, believing her love would prove them wrong. Now their prophecy has become reality, but it's their son's soul, not hers, that stands in ruins. A nurse enters quietly, handing Sarah a clipboard. The board approved the experimental treatment, Mrs. Miller. We can start next week. Sarah's expression doesn't break. She signs the paper with a calm hand, her new vows sealed in ink. As she sets the pen down, the camera cuts back to the beach. A single white balloon slips from a child's hand at the reception, rising silently into the sky. None of the guests notice. But far away, Sarah exhales, releasing the signed approval, a small sound of relief, as if her soul finally lets go of something heavy. Two worlds move in parallel, one celebrating illusion, the other holding on to truth. As laughter echoes, Ava raises her glass. To a clean slate, she toasts, her diamond ring flashing. No baggage. Guests laugh. Ethan forces another smile. For a fleeting second, his gaze drifts toward the horizon. Something uneasy flickers in his chest, something he can't name. His phone vibrates on the table beside the champagne. He glances down. A message flashes on screen from an unknown number. Congratulations, Mr. Miller. You've just married into your future lesson. He frowns, pocketing the phone quickly before Ava notices. The sea breeze carries the laughter away, leaving only the sound of waves and a faint sense that something, somewhere, has shifted against him. Back at the hospital, Sarah strokes Liam's hair and whispers, "Rest, baby. Mommy's got you." The same sun that shines on the beach bathes her in pale light, a quiet woman beginning her silent rise. The hospital room is half dark, lit only by the cold, rhythmic glow of the monitors. The soft beep, beep, beep echoes through the stillness, like a mechanical heartbeat filling the silence where hope should be. Sarah sits by Liam's bedside. The once vibrant little boy now sleeps under the hum of machines, his skin pale against the white sheets. The IV drips steadily, a reminder that life continues, one drop at a time. Outside, rain whispers against the window, a faint reflection of the storm within her. This is her lowest point, the night everything breaks and everything begins. Sarah's eyes are red from crying, though no tears fall now. She has moved past the stage of breaking. What remains is quiet, that deep, hollow kind of pain that no longer screams. On the bedside table, a stack of unpaid hospital bills sits beside a small photo of happier times, a family smiling at the beach before illness and betrayal took everything. Ethan's face in the photo feels like a ghost now, one she can no longer mourn. She takes Liam's tiny hand in hers, her thumb tracing the faint blue veins beneath his skin. "Mommy won't fail you," she whispers, her voice trembling but resolute. Not this time. Her mind drifts backward, 14 years old again, standing in a courtroom. The air cold, her hands clutching her grandmother's sleeve, her parents' faces framed in photographs on the lawyer's table. A voice echoing, "The hospital denies responsibility. The case is closed." They had died from a surgical error no one ever admitted. She had watched her grandmother, Eleanor Carter, a woman of steel and grace, refuse to bow to injustice. Eleanor had fought, not through revenge, but through rebuilding. She'd invested every settlement penny into research and ethics reform in medicine. For years, Sarah thought her grandmother's quiet strength came from wisdom. She didn't know it also came with wealth and a secret legacy waiting to awaken. Sarah's phone vibrates on the table. A new email. She almost ignores it, too tired to care, but something in the sender's name catches her eye. From Harper and Finch, legal associate subject, estate of Eleanor Carter, confidential notification. Her breath stills. She opens it. Dear Miss Miller, we are pleased to inform you that your late grandmother, Eleanor Carter, established a private trust in your name to be released upon your 35th birthday. The assets total $400 million, derived from pharmaceutical patents sold to international firms in the years following her legal reforms. Please contact us for full details and transfer arrangements. Sarah stares at the screen. For a moment, she can't breathe. The number doesn't feel real. $400 million. Her trembling hand covers her mouth. She rereads it once, twice. Then she lets out a sound, not joy, not disbelief, but something deeper. Relief. Her grandmother's voice echoes in memory. When the world tries to break you, build something stronger. Now, at last, the words make sense. Sarah wipes her face, sitting straighter. He doesn't deserve to know, she murmurs. The pronoun carries weight. He. The man who abandoned her and their son for comfort and greed. This inheritance is not for him, it's for Liam, for the promise she made at his bedside. She looks at her son, the steady pulse on the monitor reflected in her eyes. Her face changes, not hardened, but awakened. The woman who entered this room as a victim now sits as something else entirely, a mother reborn with purpose. On the wall, the shadow of the ivy pole stretches long and sharp under the fluorescent light like a sword drawn in silence. Revenge will not come in anger. It will come in precision, grace, and patience. The glow of the email screen illuminating her face. The reflection of Liam's sleeping form mirrored in her eyes. The bills beside her, soon to become meaningless paper. Sarah gathers the papers gently, folding them once, setting them aside. Then she whispers to herself, quiet but firm, a line that seals her transformation. Now we fight on my terms. Outside, thunder rolls faintly over the city. The storm that once represented her pain now feels like the sound of something rising, late at night. Sarah's modest apartment hums with silence, small, neat, and worn from years of endurance. A single lamp glows over the dining table, now buried, beneath legal documents, financial statements, and a laptop that hums faintly. The city outside murmurs through rain-slicked streets, but inside, only the steady ticking of the wall clock keeps time. On the couch, Liam sleeps, wrapped in a blanket, his breathing shallow but peaceful. The soft rise and fall of his chest anchors Sarah to her purpose. Her transformation begins not through anger, but through deliberate, quiet movement. Sarah sits before her computer, scrolling through a dense document, her grandmother's trust portfolio. Line after line of investments, foundations, and company shares scroll across the screen. Then she freezes. Her eyes narrow at a name, Evans Medical Corporation, Ethan's company. A slow realization spreads through her, she's now a shareholder. Her inheritance includes partial ownership in the very corporation her husband once built, the one supplying faulty medical equipment to hospitals across the state. The irony stings, then strengthens her resolve. She leans back, whispering to herself, "You thought you left me powerless. You left me with the keys." She opens a folder labeled Evans Corp. Legal Archive, and inside she finds something buried deep in the records, an old lawsuit file. The plaintiff's name jumps out at her. Eleanor Carter, her grandmother. Decades ago, Eleanor had sued Evans Corp. Over malpractice and defective medical equipment, the same company Ethan now runs. The case had settled quietly, but the files remained sealed. Sarah realizes now, her grandmother hadn't just left her wealth. She'd left her unfinished justice, a thread waiting to be pulled. Her phone buzzes on the table. A message lights up. "You awake? Maya Torres." Maya Torres, late 30s, is an investigative journalist known for fearless exposés on healthcare corruption. Once Sarah's college roommate, Maya had been the voice that told her truth was a disinfectant, not a weapon. They lost touch. After Sarah married Ethan, but Maya's byline still appears on headlines that change laws. Sarah types back, "I'm ready." Moments later, the two women sit across from each other in the dim apartment, mugs of untouched tea cooling between them. You told me once the truth doesn't destroy, it disinfects. Are you ready to disinfect something big? Maya smiling, eyes sharp. Always. Maya flips open her tablet, pulling up old corporate reports. Evans Corp has been under quiet investigation before. If what you have connects to falsified safety documents, it could break open everything. Sarah nods, calm but fierce. Then let's do it right. Expose cleanly, never scream. She writes the words on a small sticky note and pins it to her corkboard, her new motto, her quiet war cry. The note flutters slightly in the air from the ceiling fan's slow spin. Expose cleanly, never scream. The camera lingers on it, knowing those words will soon define her. Rise. Sarah glances toward Liam, still sleeping under the soft lamp glow. She whispers, "For you, baby. This time, we heal right." Maya gathers the files into a neat stack, her voice low and cautious. "You'll need proof, real proof," she says. Sarah nods, eyes focused, as she rises and walks to the small hallway closet. She kneels, pulls out an old metal safety deposit box, and turns the lock. Inside a folder labeled Evans Corp., legal settlement draft, yellowed with age but pulsing with consequence. The hum of the city outside grows louder, almost like an omen. Sarah's eyes glint with quiet determination. The broken wife is gone. The strategist has arrived. A grand ballroom glitters beneath chandeliers. Evans Corp's annual investor gala. Crystal glasses clink, laughter ripples like artificial music, and every smile hides calculation. At the center, Ethan Miller stands before a massive screen displaying the company logo, a symbol of success built on deception. Ava, radiant in silver silk, stays close at his side. Her practiced smile dazzles the photographers. This evening is meant to cement their empire, to prove Ethan's downfall had never come, that his new marriage was the mark of rebirth. But outside this world of gold and champagne, the truth has already been set free. Sarah and Maya's quiet plan is in motion, precise, surgical, unstoppable. In a dimly lit apartment across the city, Sarah Miller and Maya Torres sit before dual laptop screens, their reflections glowing in the blue light. The air hums with tension and quiet justice. Sarah's inheritance and her new shareholder access had unlocked corporate archives that no journalist could touch, files that Ethan thought buried. Legal drafts, internal memos, forged safety reports, all of it, now in the hands of two women determined to disinfect what power had infected. With a single keystroke, Maya sends an encrypted email to the National Ledger, one of the country's most respected investigative outlets. The subject line reads, Evans Corp., pediatric equipment fraud, verified documents attached. Sarah watches the progress bar fill. Then she whispers, "It's done." Maya exhales. Now we wait. The lights dim slightly as Ethan takes the stage, microphone in hand, charisma rehearsed. To growth, innovation, and the future of healthcare, he begins. Applause swells. Cameras flash. Then the big screen behind him flickers. The Evans Corp logo disappears, replaced by the bright red banner of a breaking news alert. Breaking. Evans Corp under federal investigation for defective pediatric equipment. Whistleblower reveals falsified safety reports and forged executive signatures. Gasps ripple through the room. Guests turn to one another, whispering. Phones light up, notifications pinging. On stage, Ethan freezes mid-sentence. The glow from the screen paints his face pale. Behind him, the smiling image of his company's slogan, "We heal the future," now burns beside headlines of criminal fraud. Ava grips his arm. "What's going on?" she hisses. Ethan's jaw tightens. Those reports were sealed. Only legal had access. Camera flashes catch the panic he can't hide. His empire is cracking in real time, under the same spotlight he built for admiration. At home, she watches the broadcast on her laptop. The reflection of Ethan's panic dances across her calm face. She doesn't smile. She doesn't gloat. Her eyes hold something deeper: responsibility. This isn't revenge. It's justice wrapped in grace. The hum of the city outside sounds softer now, as if even the night recognizes balance being restored. Maya's phone buzzes. A new message from her contact at the news outlet. She reads aloud, voice tightening. "You were right, this goes deeper. There's proof of forged signatures under his name. Sarah's gaze sharpens. Then we're not done yet. She leans forward, closing her laptop slowly, the faint smile of strategy curving her lips. The battle isn't about destroying Ethan, it's about exposing everything that broke others like him. The files came through her shareholder credentials, legal, undeniable, traceable. No revenge, just truth, written in data and signatures. Back at the gala, chaos brews. Ethan's phone vibrates violently with calls. Cameras capture every flicker of panic. Ava steps back, eyes wide, her world of comfort beginning to crack. The last shot. Sarah sits alone in the glow of her monitor, the breaking news headline reflecting in her eyes, calm, controlled, unstoppable. Morning at Evans Corp headquarters, the glass tower that once symbolized triumph now glitters cold under gray skies. Reporters swarm the plaza, microphones ready, cameras waiting for the fall of a king. Inside, chaos bleeds through every floor. Phones ring unanswered, assistants whisper in panic, and executives clutch folders like shields. The company logo, Evans Corp. We heal the future flickers on lobby screens, irony pulsing in every pixel. The empire Ethan built on deception begins to crumble not with explosions, but with signatures, subpoenas, and silence. Ethan storms through the corridor, jaw tight, suit impeccable but his eyes wild. He barks orders into his phone. Get legal. I want every statement pulled offline until we control the narrative. Ava follows, heels striking the marble, panic hidden beneath her designer calm. Ethan, what's happening? The news outlets, they're saying the FBI is coming. He turns sharply, his composure cracking. They can't touch us. Those reports were sealed. It's just noise. But his words sound hollow even to himself. The elevator doors slide open and FBI agents step out in dark suits, badges gleaming. The lobby freezes. Mr. Ethan Miller, the lead officer announces, voice firm, echoing through the marble hall. You're under investigation for corporate fraud and endangerment. Cameras flash from the lobby windows. The first domino has fallen. Ethan's face drains of color. This is a mistake. Your lawyers are already cooperating, the officer interrupts. You'll need to come with us. Ava's voice cuts through the murmurs, sharp, desperate. You said this was taken care of. He glares at her. You were the one who forged those reports. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Employees whisper. Phones record. The facade collapses. One truth at a time. Ava steps back, disgust replacing fear. Her mascara smudges as tears finally break through. You promised me security, Ethan. You promised we'd be safe. He reaches for her, but she recoils. I'm not going down with you. And just like that, she turns, walking away through the crowd, heels clicking like a gavel striking judgment. It's a perfect mirror of that night years ago, when he walked out on Sarah and their son. Back then, it was his choice to leave. Now, it's everyone else leaving him. The handcuffs click around his wrists. Cameras explode in light. The once proud CEO, escorted through his own lobby like a criminal. Reporters shout questions. Mr. Miller, were you aware of the falsified safety data? Did your company endanger children for profit? He keeps his eyes down. His empire folds behind him. Across the street, a black car is parked at the curb. Inside, Sarah watches quietly. Liam, still frail but recovering, sits beside her, a small smile on his face as he looks out the window. Sarah's hand tightens gently around his. Her gaze stays calm, no hatred, no triumph, just relief. The kind that comes when a long nightmare finally fades. Maya sits in the passenger seat, her phone buzzing with live updates. She looks back, her voice soft. Justice doesn't need noise, she says. Sarah nods. It just needs truth. The camera lingers on Sarah's expression, serenity after chaos. She doesn't gloat. Her silence is heavier than any victory speech. The viewer feels the balance settle, the catharsis of quiet strength overcoming cruelty. The car pulls away slowly, leaving the flashing lights behind. Through the window reflection, Sarah's face fades into sunlight, symbol of rebirth. Ethan sits on a narrow bench inside a gray interrogation room. His once perfect suit now wrinkled, his tie discarded. The silence presses in. His lawyer, stern and weary, lays down a file. The shareholder who initiated the audit was Sarah Miller. Ethan looks up, eyes wide. Sarah? The word escapes him like a confession. disbelief, realization, regret tangled in one breath. The weight of everything hits him at once. The wife he discarded, the son he abandoned, the company he sacrificed for greed. He lowers his head into his hands as the camera pans upward, fluorescent lights buzzing like judgment itself. In the reflection of the glass wall, Ethan appears smaller, broken, framed by the same symbol of the company that once defined him. The final image freezes on his stunned face, the name Sarah Miller echoing in the silence. The viewer feels the perfect symmetry, his arrogance, undone by the woman he once called beneath him. Sarah's foundation office gleams with minimalist elegance, ivory walls, glass desks, sunlight pooling through floor-to-ceiling windows. The nameplate on the glass door reads, Liam Hope Foundation. Children's laughter echoes faintly from the hallway beyond, a reminder that healing has replaced heartbreak, justice without vengeance, victory without noise. Sarah sits behind her desk, reading through a report, the legal confirmation that her foundation has officially taken over Evans Corp's former contracts, redirecting them toward the production of safe pediatric equipment. The same company that once endangered children now funds their recovery. Maya stands nearby, flipping through a folder of finalized agreements. Her expression carries pride and quiet admiration. Maya, you could sue him for damages, you know, after everything. Sarah closes the file gently, her expression calm. Sarah, no. He's already lost everything that ever mattered. Her tone holds no bitterness, only peace. Compassion has replaced anger. Her victory is measured not in what she's destroyed, but in what she's built. Her grandmother's voice echoes softly in her memory. You win by rebuilding, not by breaking. Sarah glances toward a framed photo on the wall, her grandmother smiling beside a younger version of her. She turns to her inbox, scanning through invitations. One catches her eye, Children's Health Charity Gala. She smiles faintly. Another notification slides in, an RSVP confirmation from an attorney representing Ethan Miller. Maya looks up from her tablet. You're going to face him? Sarah's eyes soften. He deserves to face himself. The screen fades to white as her reflection glows against the window, strength born from grace. Months later, the Children's Health Charity Gala fills a grand ballroom with warm golden light and soft applause. Chandeliers shimmer above polished marble, the air rich with the scent of white roses and new beginnings. Photographers line the aisles, flashes glinting off the glass podium at center stage. At the heart of it all stands Sarah Miller, poised, serene, draped in an elegant navy gown. The woman once abandoned has become the symbol of hope, the founder whose name now graces the hospital wings she once wept inside. Tonight isn't about revenge, it's about purpose. Her journey has come full circle. She steps to the microphone. Her voice carries calm strength. Tonight, she says, we're announcing a research grant to find a cure for severe autoimmune aplastic anemia, the illness that changed my son's life. Applause rises. Cameras flash. Her eyes glisten, but her voice remains steady. This foundation isn't built from pain, she continues softly. It's built from survival. As she steps back, the room erupts in admiration. The crowd sees resilience. Only she knows the weight behind her smile. In the midst of the applause, a figure lingers at the back of the hall, disheveled, thinner, almost unrecognizable. Ethan Miller. His once commanding presence is replaced by a hollow fragility. He wears a wrinkled suit. His tie is loose. The man who once spoke from podiums now stands among shadows, trembling. He watches her in silence as the applause fades. When the room begins to mingle, he moves closer, weaving through tables like a ghost. Sarah turns and sees him. For a moment, neither speaks. The music softens. Time stretches between them like an old wound reopening in silence. Ethan, voice breaking. Sarah, I lost everything. The company, the house, even Ava. Please, I made a big mistake. His eyes glisten, desperate. Sarah's expression is calm, not cold, not cruel, simply done. You didn't lose everything, Ethan, she says quietly. You gave it away. He flinches, his hands trembling. I thought I was chasing peace. I thought she loved me. Sarah's gaze softens, not with love, but pity. You traded our family for what you thought was happiness? You traded loyalty for illusion? Her words land like truth carved in glass, painful, clear, final. Ethan's legs buckle. He falls to his knees in front of her, tears streaming down his face. The ballroom gasps, the cameras flash in a frenzy. Reporters whisper, "That's him, her ex-husband." He sobs openly, broken. "I don't deserve forgiveness." Sarah looks down at him, her eyes shimmering but dry. "I forgive you, Ethan, but forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation." Her silence after the words feels heavier than thunder. She doesn't gloat. She doesn't turn away in anger. She simply stands dignified, calm, the embodiment of grace that has no need for revenge. The camera pans wide, Ethan kneeling under the golden lights, surrounded by murmuring guests. In the corner, Liam, now healthy and bright-eyed, stands beside Maya, watching with quiet confusion. Sarah bends slightly, placing a hand on her son's shoulder. "Come on, sweetheart," she whispers. "Let's go home." As they turn, autumn leaves drift through the open balcony doors, swirling softly around Ethan's knees. He remains frozen, the image of a man left behind by his own choices. Compassion wins over cruelty. Her triumph is not his punishment, it's her peace. Reporters rush forward, shouting over the music. "Miss Miller, is it true your foundation funded the federal investigation into Evans Corp?" Sarah pauses at the door, glancing back once. A faint, knowing smile curves her lips. She says nothing, only lets the silence answer for her. The camera lingers on her, walking away, her son's hand in hers, the living proof that light can rise from ruin. The sun rises softly over the new Liam Hope Pediatric Center. Golden light spills across glass walls, etched with children's names, survivors, fighters, dreamers. Birds glide over the blooming courtyard garden, where laughter replaces the echoes of pain that once filled hospital rooms. Sarah walks slowly through the path lined with white lilies and small plaques of gratitude. Her expression is peaceful, not triumphant, but fulfilled. She stops at a marble archway engraved with words that shimmer in sunlight. The Liam Hope Initiative, healing with honor. Closure, forgiveness, and legacy, the story's final breath of grace. Sarah kneels beside Liam, now bright-eyed and full of energy. His hands are dirt-streaked as he presses a small flower into the soil. She helps him pat the earth gently. "Liam, Mom, are we happy now?" Sarah smiles, brushing a stray leaf from his hair. "Sarah, we're safe, and that's better than happy." He leans against her arm, content. A few feet away, Maya films a short testimonial for the Foundation's online page. The camera captures Sarah's serene face framed by morning light, her voice calm, strong, and kind. Her story, once tragedy, now inspires others. Donations surge, families write letters, and children across the country gain access to life-saving care. The strength born from her grandmother's loss now saves lives. The pain that once silenced her now gives others a voice. Sarah stands, gazing at a bronze plaque near the garden's heart, dedicated to those who rose again. She whispers, "Thank you, Grandma." Sometimes justice isn't about destroying what hurt you. It's about building something stronger than what tried to break you. Sarah takes Liam's hand. They walk toward the glowing sunrise silhouettes of resilience and peace. If you've ever been betrayed, remember, your comeback doesn't need applause, just purpose.